Happy birthday, Nami!
Making videos happily on Obligatory Island. On Obligatory Island.
So, two things I need to get out of the way with you first. Number one, a response to Name's video where he's all talking about being the boss. Don't feel like a jerk. You're the boss. You call the shots. Someone had to do it. The boss had to do it. You're the boss. So, c'est la vie. Point two. Some of you may have noticed I did not upload a video last Thursday. That's because I was in Geneva, in Switzerland, and I didn't have internet. But I was there at the Large Hadron Collider the day after they made the announcement. Rock on. If only they could have waited another day to make the announcement. I could have said I was there when they made the announcement of the most important particle to be discovered in the last 50 years. But they didn't. Okay. Right, so those are the two things out of the way. And I have nothing else to discuss, so I will just do something. So, I've decided to talk to you about this video about the Higgs boson because it's sort of newish news, and I didn't have an opportunity to do it when it was announced because I was in CERN, you know. So, anyway, the Higgs field. The Higgs field is separate from the Higgs boson. Very important. The Higgs boson is simply a physical manifestation of the Higgs field. So you have the Higgs field, and occasionally that produces a Higgs boson. So basically what the Higgs field does is it gives particles mass. And I know you might ask, why do particles need to be given mass? But they just do, okay? Because if particles don't have mass, they will fly around at the speed of light everywhere. Which is bad, because they can't stop, and obviously we're not flying around at the speed of light. As far as we know. But anyway. But yeah, we're not flying around at the speed of light. And that is because the Higgs field. So basically, what the Higgs field does is it slows particles down by interacting with them. A particle that interacts very strongly with the Higgs field has a lot of mass. And bear in mind, you might think that is completely different to the size of the particle. The size of the particle doesn't matter because essentially all particles don't have a volume. They have mass but no volume. Work that one out. So, a particle that doesn't interact at all with the Higgs field, like a photon, will fly around at the speed of light everywhere. I mean, it should be called the speed of massless particles, but light's close enough. Plus, it's easier to say. I mean, what? Anyway, so, the particles that interact strongly with it have more mass. So, for example, electrons interact with it a bit, whereas the top quark interacts with it a hell of a lot. And neutrinos barely interact with it at all. So, yeah, that's why that happens. And you're probably asking why particles need to be given mass. I mean, why don't they just have mass and that's it? Well, the thing with that is, if you give particles mass as an intrinsic property, the maths doesn't work. I mean, there is an equation. I mean, I wonder if I have it somewhere. This equation, okay? Yeah, I got this from CERN. CERN t-shirt, oh yeah. Anyway, this equation basically describes how forces interact particles. So you've got forces, how they interact particles, and these two lines have to do with the Higgs. So basically, if you take a particle with mass as an intrinsic property, then this doesn't work. So what you need is something that doesn't have mass in it, but when you put it into that thing will give you mass at the end. And that's called the Higgs field. So, yep, that'll be it for this video. DFTBA, I will see the rest of the Heptagon next week.